Okay, let's move on. Yes, the body keeps score, but it also keeps the power. So what does that mean? Most of us are taught to see disease as an invader, as an enemy, or something to fight or suppress. But the truth is, disease is not the enemy. It's really just the body's language. You've heard that most language between human beings, or even all beings for that matter, is nonverbal. This is your body's version of a nonverbal language. It's the culmination of your humanity, your biology, your thoughts, your emotions, even your infinite spirit, signaling that something in your life is ready to evolve. I believe every challenge in life is an invitation to a higher version of ourselves. It's a call to capacity, a marker that there's some human level that's yet to be explored or fulfilled. Even in the case of disease and diagnosis, your body is not betraying you. It's calling you to rise. It's inviting you to evolve the way you do life. Every symptom is a form of communication, a call to change the inner patterns that keep you in survival mode you learned probably as a child, those survival mode mechanisms that kept you safe at the time. I think it's Gabor Mate who says something like, the things we needed to do to adapt to our survival in our earliest years become maladaptive in our adult years. And correcting those maladaptations does not come naturally to the mind, so we have to step in. Our willingness to change is in direct proportion to our unwillingness to continue to suffer in the way that we've suffered in the past. Therefore, suffering is a call for our personal evolution or change. The disease process itself is a spark that can elevate your capacity for healing and growth. It can not only change the way you look at your own health, it can change the way you operate your body. When you stop suppressing or medicating away the signals and start listening to your body, you awaken the deepest levels of intelligence within yourself. Healing then becomes not just possible, it becomes inevitable. This is a foreign concept to a lot of people because we've been so groomed into believing in the laws of medicine. But the laws of medicine are not the laws of healing. In fact, medical students spend exactly 0 hours learning about healing. They learn about disease and medications. It seems absurd, but that is the way it is. So let's do another little exercise. Close your eyes and notice one area of your body that might feel tense or heavy or tight or uncomfortable. It might even be an area where you experience disease or injury or pain. Now, gently and without resistance, apply your attention to this spot. Imagine this area is its most perfect version of itself. If there's pain, simply rest your attention and allow the natural resistance to pain melt away. Just maintain that attention for just one moment more. And release. Now take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, open your eyes. If you think of things in your life that bring frustration, that make your body feel heavy, those old patterns that feel so real, think of things like when you feel like your voice isn't being heard, things like when your dignity is being dismissed, things like having something to say but feeling like you don't have permission to say it. Think of those repetitive moments in your life that close you in instead of set you free. You are not meant to be closed in, and your body knows it, and it keeps score of every one of those moments. At the same time, there is a way to set you free and allow your body to respond to that freedom. Your body keeps score, but it also keeps the power to regenerate, to heal, and to set you free. Every thought, every emotion, every choice leaves a biochemical imprint. And sometimes what we call disease is actually the body speaking the only language it knows. So here's some things you can do to start feeling a difference in your own body. Start watching how you respond to your everyday walking around life. See if you can detect patterns. For instance, you could be watching for patterns of resistance to new ideas or even ideas you disagree with. I always used to say I had a PhD in resistance. I was so good at it. But once I started watching for patterns, I realized resistance was a major pattern for me. And then I realized it was also a major pattern for my mother. In fact, it is a popular protection mechanism of the subconscious mind. So many of us have that. And it's kind of reptilian in its evolution. My mother resisted growing in absolutely every area of her life. She was a professional hider from life. She hid from life's challenges behind substance abuse and violence. She hid from bettering herself. In her life, this hiding took the form of never getting a driver's license, never learning to swim, never learning to ride a bike or ice skate or ride a horse or anything for that matter. It's not that she didn't have the opportunity, it's that she had resistance. She resisted everything about life by hiding behind substance abuse. And I realized I didn't want the consequences of living that same life. And the only reason I had such a propensity for resistance was because I was subconsciously following the pattern I learned from her. I've never had a substance abuse issue, but boy, did I learn to resist the opportunities life was trying to teach me, and it cost me dearly. So I started asking myself, do I have to respond this way? Do I have to feel this way? And within about 3 days, this thing I thought was so entrenched in me and such a part of me, and even my identity, this entire pattern of resistance started to melt from my body, and my entire life started to change after that. I went skydiving, I started my own businesses, I'm asked to speak at events, and a whole bunch of other things that have happened that I think never would have happened if I hadn't first recognized the pattern of resistance and started to shift it. Okay, big exhale. We've covered a lot of ground today. We started by looking at how our culture has normalized illness, feeling exhausted, being in pain, dealing with chronic symptoms. Things like aging comes with weakness and frailty and increased disease, and even normalizing taking daily prescriptions. It's become so common, people actually think it's a way of life. But now you know that normal doesn't necessarily mean healthy, and it doesn't mean it has to be your normal. It turns out we don't have to accept the lowest standard of well being as our reality. And the first shift is permission, permission to expect more, to want more, to believe more is possible. And once we give ourselves that permission, we can look at the second big truth. This is where we explored the limits of conventional medicine. Medication and treatment can be supportive, but they can't touch the real disease process happening underneath, because the real process isn't just physical. It's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. Even if you don't feel like a spiritual person, there's science behind that part of you that might be helpful to learn. Conventional medicine treats physical disease as separate from mental and emotional processes, but it's not. They are biochemically intertwined. It's the way your biology responds to your whole human experience. And then when you really get the hang of this stuff, you not only realize your mental power is tied to your physical power, but that your entire human system is intricately tied to the power of the universe, and you are no different than that power. And that's good news because that means you're never powerless. There are levers within you, hope, emotional freedom, your daily practices that prescriptions cannot replace, because medication is not the same as transformation. And that brings us right to the heart of what might be the most empowering truth of all. Yes, the body records the stress, the grief, the trauma, the pressures we live through. But that same body is also carrying the power to heal, to regenerate, and to change. In fact, it's designed to do just that. Your biology is not your enemy. It's a messenger, it's a communication system. And disease is the call to evolve into your next level of strength, freedom, and vitality. When you stop fighting the body and start listening to it, you unlock healing potential that goes far beyond what most people ever imagine. So if you remember just 3 things from today, let it be these. Don't settle for normal when it isn't healthy. Do not mistake medication for transformation. And never forget, your body may keep score, but it also keeps the power to regenerate itself in a healthy manner.